Welcome, everyone. It is 4:30 on Thursday, March 26th, 2020, and the Carroll City Council meeting is now in session. In support of the Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds' proclamation declaring a state of public health emergency, this makes it impossible and impractical to meet in one location. If the city attorney is online, are we allowed to go into session?
Yes, Mayor, you're so authorized.
Thank you. With that, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Just wait a second, please.
Unmuted.
Okay.
Nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please note everyone is in attendance. Since we will follow a typical agenda, if there are any oral requests and communications from the audience for items not on the agenda, are you getting any response or anything, Mike? No. Our first item is under resolutions and is the Carroll Small Business Relief Program. And Mike, please, when you're ready.
Muted. Unmuted.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As we're all aware, the novel coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, is causing much anxiety in our community, state, and world right now. This situation that many of us are facing is really unique in our lifetime and something we have not ever experienced. Our business community is facing some major impacts and untold stress right now. To that end, programs by the state and federal government are being ramped up to help struggling businesses during this challenging time. However, some of this aid really will be too late for some of our most vulnerable small businesses in our community. In an effort to help our small business community, who are the economic engines of our community, discussions have been occurring between Carroll Area Development Corporation and the city to develop a small business relief program. The request before us tonight is for the city to provide an initial allocation of $100,000 from the local option sales tax lost funds in support of this program. As the engine that generates the lost funds, it makes sense to invest these funds into businesses in hopes that they can be part of the future recovery once we're past this current situation. This program would be operated and administered by CADC. Assistance through the program would only be intended for businesses with immediate short-term cash flow assistance for approximately the next 30 days. Eligible businesses would include those employing 25 people or fewer as of March 17th of 2020. We did include in the packet a draft version of the program guidelines. These guidelines are not in a final form, but really are just for the council's information of the direction that they're looking to take the program. They are working with various partners, including the Iowa Small Business Development Center and other individuals with knowledge in small businesses to finalize those guidelines, which they hope to have done by tomorrow. This would be a competitive program and not a first come, first served program. Grants amounts would vary and would be determined by the level of impact, including loss of sales revenue, employees, and financial need of the business. The maximum award for this program would be $5,000 per business, but the goal of the program would be to reach as many businesses as possible with a limited amount of money that we do have available, though. The intent would be that the first review of all applications submitted would occur in the afternoon of Thursday, April 2nd, for applications received by noon on Thursday, April 2nd. And then application reviews would happen on an ongoing basis if there's additional funds left until the funds are exhausted. I'd be happy to answer any questions, but the recommendation from staff is that the mayor and council consider approval of the funding request to Carroll Area Development Corporation for the Economic Development Funding Assistance for the Carroll Small Business Relief Program in the amount of $100,000 from local option sales tax. And there's a resolution we'd ask that you consider approving this evening for that program. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the council has.
Mike,
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jerry.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're fine.
I'd just like to know how the money is moved from here to them if we approve this, straight into their bank account.
Our intention would be to, if approved tonight, we would cut a check and then provide that CEC tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
I really like the function of using local option sales tax to fuel this. It gives money that local businesses helped create back to them to give them relief in these stressful times.
Mike, would you flesh out the application process? I've had calls and also just so people are aware of what will be available and how they will be able to access the application. Thank you.
The application will be available on the Carroll Area Development Corporation's webpage. We'll get information out on our webpage. We'll get information out on our Facebook. I know they'll be doing a lot of resource. I see that Shannon Landauer is on, so I'm going to unmute Shannon's and maybe she wants to explain a little bit too of how they're going to do some of that outreach. Bear with me 1 second, Shannon.
Oh, I see how that works now.
Shannon, are you there? I think you need to unmute your mic.
There.
There you go.
Green.
Yes, I'm.
Do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have got a couple different methods of delivery. Within our website, we have a form that's set up so it can be submitted electronically, including applicable attachments added to that, so it can all be done online. As most are doing, our office is currently closed to the public, so we're trying to make it as easy as possible. While we're doing that, there also is the document you can print, fill out, you can scan and email it back, you can drop it in the mail to come back. So we're trying to make it as easy as we can to get the information out there and then returned. As far as it goes, I mean, it was hitting local media last night and today that this is being discussed. So I think there's already been some pretty good chatter about it in the community. It will be distributed, per Mike's point, on social media pages. You know, I think one statement that was made that I want to clarify, I use the example of the most immediate impact being those businesses that were required to alter their operation, required to close. Like we saw today, you know, some are able to maintain operations as they had and some not. We're not specifying that only those named in these closure orders are eligible recipients by any means. I just want to make that very clear. Essentially, too, we've heard from businesses, you know, whether it be Kimberly at the Small Business Development Center, our local lenders, they know who's been in contact with them. I feel like they're the local experts right now in the financial world, and they're the ones that really know where the pinch points are. So we've had calls today with people asking, you know, if it's available. And so I know that those local first contacts are also helping to distribute that information.
This won't preclude anybody from being able to get funding through the state when and if the state offers things too.
I'm not aware. Shannon, are you aware of any limitations this would place on other outside funding?
No, this will have no impact. And I should clarify, Kimberly Tiefenthaler's here in my office with me, and she's in agreement that this has no impact on IEDA, SBA, other things that are out there.
That concurs with my research as well, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I just didn't want anybody, if they have access to a greater amount of funds, to do that instead of this, but if they can get both, that's even better. Okay. Any other questions for Mike? If not, I'll need a motion to approve funding to the Carroll Area Development Corporation for economic development funding assistance for the Carroll Small Business Relief Program in the amount of $100,000 from the local option sales tax.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
And one comment, I don't know, we didn't do this at the last meeting, but do we want to ask if there's any public comment? Because obviously they're all muted right now.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
If there's a way they can
So we've unmuted, I guess, if there's any public comments at this time.
Otherwise, we got a motion and a second. If there's nothing else, then we'll go ahead and vote, please.
Cots?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Base? Yes. Fleischner?
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
Thank you. I think we are good. I have no comments, council comments, manager comments.
You know, the only comment I would say is we got some good news here at the city. Randy Carroll was selected as one of the top 10 public works leaders. That's a national award by the American Public Works Association. So very proud of what Randy does. I mean, I will tell you, I've worked with a lot of engineers in my career, and Randy is just an expert. He's very informative. He knows his stuff in and out. He's a great advisor for our community. So I'm just very proud to have Randy as one of our staff people. And he really does deserve this award, and he's pretty humble about it. But I would say with COVID-19 right now, we will plan some activities really to highlight that. But if you see Randy out and about, really congratulate him for his dedication to the city, but also to the field. And I think it's pretty telling when your peers select you for this type of award. And out of 30,000 individuals that are in the American Public Works Association, to be named one of the top 10 in the nation, it's a pretty high honor for him. So I just really want to congratulate Randy for that.
Maybe when
Yeah.
the social restrictions are off, we could have a chamber coffee and
We definitely will plan to do some of that activity.
Will he be going anywhere to receive this award?
So there was some activities that were planned in May that they have already canceled because of everything. There's also a big event in October, which is in New Orleans this year, which we're not really sure that will happen either. So just kind of bad timing, but we will definitely make sure that he gets the honor, at least in our communities, that he deserves.
thank you, Mike.
Yes.
If there anything else? If not, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. We'll go ahead and vote, please.
Base? Yes. Fleischner?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
We are adjourned.